Wouldn't it be cool if you could film yourself and easily turn into anything you want, like a cartoon character? Like, what if this could just be a means of capturing performance, and you can visualize whatever your imagination wants afterwards? This kind of no-limits creativity is only accessible to films or animations with multi-million-dollar budgets, but it's part of our humanity to try to visualize things that don't exist. Like, let's talk about traditional 2D animation, cartoons. The most creatively liberated medium is also the least democratized. It takes incredibly skilled people drawing every single frame of your movie to make it happen. But I think we came up with a new way to animate, a way to turn reality into a cartoon. And it's one more step towards true creative freedom, where we can easily create anything we want. So how do we do this? How do we turn a video into a cartoon? Well, we've been making a series of videos where we experiment with AI image processing. This is similar to AI image generation, but in our case, we are transforming images rather than generating them from scratch. So one of the newest pieces of technology is a machine learning process known as diffusion. At its core, the diffusion process lets a computer generate an image from noise, much like how we imagine an image from an ink blot or looking at clouds. So if we take a picture we already have and we put a little bit of noise on top, we can have the computer clear up that noise while drawing in new details that weren't there before. It's a lot like looking at a picture and squinting your eyes and trying to imagine you're looking at something else. And if you squint a lot, well, what you're looking at becomes really fuzzy, and you can imagine that you're looking at something different.
I wish to hear advice from Destiny on things related to my life. I have ADHD and don't know any life skills, and I'm scared for the future. Blush.
So why haven't we seen it applied to video? Shouldn't we be seeing mind-blowing visuals all over the internet? Unfortunately, the moment people tried applying this to video, everything fell apart. Because the first step of the process requires us to noise up our image. Every single frame ends up looking different, and the video gets super flickery. The very nature of this tech seems to make it impossible to ever work with video. And well, I nearly gave up on using it, but Dean here at the studio kept experimenting, and he showed that with a little bit of VFX problem solving, this might be something that we could actually overcome. It was at the time that Dean and Fenner went out and made that Spider-Verse short, and I set off on a personal quest to use this tech to enable me to make my very own anime. So it was time to Sherlock Holmes our way through this and engineer a solution to this flickery problem. And the first clue was Jurassic Park. 6 months ago, a user on YouTube named Hops uploaded an experiment. He had processed Jurassic Park to look like low-poly Zelda. And he used an interesting new technique to noisify the image. And he had achieved excellent results. So I'll explain. Every time you process an image, the noise that you put on top changes. Therefore, the forms in the image get changed every frame. If we freeze that noise, things become a lot more solid in the image, but now it kind of feels like the image is moving underneath a weird warp layer, and the details stay inconsistent. So the new trick used in that little Jurassic Park video was simple. If we can turn noise into an image, let's just reverse an image back into the noise it would have come from. Literally just do it backwards. Therefore, the noise is no longer randomly changing every frame, nor is it locked. If the two frames are nearly the same, so is their fuzzy, noised up versions. And therefore, they get interpreted in a similar way. So we had one piece to the puzzle solved. No more random noise on our image. But I tried to make my video look like a cartoon, and every frame was being drawn with a different cartoon style. So we fixed one problem just to encounter another problem. Dead end? Well, no. Because around this time, style models were becoming a thing in the stable diffusion space. A person named Nitrosock started creating some amazing diffusion models built to convert your image into one specific style. So then it dawned on us. This was the key to eliminating the style flicker. Like, imagine telling 100 different people to draw a cartoon dog. You're going to get 100 different dogs back. Now imagine giving everyone a character style sheet saying, draw a cartoon dog exactly like this. The images are going to look a lot more similar. So we had to train our own model, specifically on only one style that we wanted to replicate. Another big step forward, but it only uncovered another new problem. On tests I performed on myself, the features on the face were still changing and jumping all over the place. So the idea hit us. We made a video where we trained ourselves into a diffusion model so that we could tell an epic fantasy story. Why not do that here? I trained a model to not only replicate a specific style, but to also specifically know a character, me. I trained it on images of me wearing the same clothes on the same green screen background that I was using for my test sequence. And suddenly, boom, everything locked in. The consistency between frames was hugely improved. Well, almost. It still wasn't quite perfect. But we're VFX artists who have worked with crappy video files. Surely, we must have a tool in our arsenal to deal with light flickering. So we applied the DeFlicker plugin in DaVinci Resolve, and we set it to remove flickering light. And it was that simple. Suddenly, we were there. It was working. We had a consistent, moving, emotive cartoon character. And we had a
if there's no actual hand-drawn animation or touch-ups here,
consistent,
and this is like this, wait, what was this animated?
it was
Hold
that
on.
simple. Suddenly,
This coming from completely just like a video of a person and then being transformed via AI and a couple plugins.
we were there. It was working. We had a consistent, moving,
This is pretty insane.
emotive
Still needs a little bit of work, but
and it's all just driven with video of us on a green screen. I think we've cracked a workflow here for getting something that looks like a cartoon, and it's pretty bonkers.
It's working, you know.
Yeah.
I think we could do maybe a couple more experiments, but it's like ready to rock.
I think Nico has figured out the key to creating a consistent character.
So now it was time to make that anime that I've always wanted to make. Because as you've seen on the channel, we have our anime videos, anime fidget spinners, anime self-driving cars, anime baseball.
holy shit, that anime fidget spinner. That's like a 8-year-old video, isn't it? 5 years old.
What?
Yeah, I remember this way back in the day.
But they're all filmed for real because we don't run an animation studio and it's very hard to do so these days. So I've had this idea forever. Anime, rock, paper, scissors. What is the ultimate rock, paper, scissors game? Two twin princes, born at the same time, equal claim to the throne. And it must be decided that day the king has died. And rock, paper, scissors must happen.
Jesus.